Okay, so here we go. We have the new banner units, and this might be a little bit late, but hey, let's jump into it. So, of course, we have the new units, and then, of course, they come with banner units. Now, these might just be the best ones going. So, we have STR Mai, and then we also have Physical Zamasu, right? Okay, so let's stick with Zamasu as we're on this. So, he's a Patara or Future Saga, 130%. So, if you happen to pull him, fear not, that shouldn't be too bad. Hell, running this in maybe category Super Battle Road might just be possible. Patara is a bit, there's a bit and ah between Future Saga, possibly, yeah. So let's have a look. So if there is a superclass enemy at the start of the character's attacking turn, you have an entrance animation, and you get 50% to stats, and you get a chance of evading enemy super attack 20%. So you get 50% to stats and 20% to dodge. And it's not too bad if you're going to perhaps try and put a dodge build, because that'd be two separate reasons to proc a dodge. Initially, though, we have 150% at the start of turn, which is pretty good, and that goes up for 200. Now, the chances of you coming up against a superclass is probably pretty high, so that's not too bad at all. So you get the additional 50% to stats and also another chance to dodge plus 30% on super attack. So actually altogether, you should actually be on 50%. Yet maybe there's no need to actually put a dodge build. Okay, so what do we got? We got one key up to 4, an additional 50% to stats up to 200. Well, so that's 4 turns at the start of each turn when there is a superclass enemy. Okay, so you can imagine, like, potentially, well, we have like with a superclass, you have 200% at the start of turn. And this is just for the rest of the battle with a 20%, and then you get your 30% chance to dodge, and then of course you're going to have another 200% with the 4 key, so that's nice. Extreme class allies get 30% to stats but no key. You get an additional 20% to stats and another chance to perform a crit 10% for those who belong to the Future Saga category. Wow. So okay, so extreme class allies are getting 30%. You get an addition. So basically, he's Future Saga extreme class 50%, 10% chance to crit, and of course all Future Saga allies key 2 for 2 turns. Oh, that is interesting. So you get all Future Saga allies get 2 key for 2 turns after evading an attack. I suppose that's not strictly the worst. I mean, if you think about it, he has a 50% chance to dodge. So, what are the chances that will happen? So, you could use him as a very good floater, right? Because, so what? I mean, you're able to, you have quite a lot. Basically, this will build up to like 400%, right? And you're going to give 50% for extreme class Future Saga, never mind the crit. But like, since you have a 50% chance to dodge, you could put him as a floater. Just dodging once will trigger that, which could be really good for those who might just be shy. Speaking of stats, as we have like 400% coming in at 55%, a pretty respectable 8,000. There's a lot of older TURs that really only have this. Think of like Ultimate Gohan. Take Ultimate Gohan, he only really has around that. So this is not too bad. Again, if you think about some others that have come out, like the Go Tech Goten and all that kind of stuff, and always SDR Krillin, I mean, they have less than this, so it's nice to see that. Of course, they end up being a rainbow at 10,500. Attack, not too much. Although I'll be honest with this, I don't think attack is strictly going to be this way's game, because he's going to have like dodge and he's going to have 400% stats in theory. So, he's probably a defensive or support build. In fact, if anything, he is a support build, so that's pretty good. Coming in with 69%, it goes up to a more respectable 9.3 thousand. So anyone who happens to pull away with that, that's fine. So his super attack effect, you get 30%. Lowers attack. I mean, ultimately, he's a well-built unit, right? I mean, he's obviously going to build around extreme Future Saga allies, which is basically kind of the whole point. I mean, it's pretty good that if you're going to have someone who's hardcore and focused onto a specific specific thing to do, then yeah, sure, you might as well make him pretty OP on a very specific thing to do. Think like STR Second Form Cell. He's a 50% support for extreme Cell Saga enemies, so no doubt that this one's actually coming around. So let's have a look. So we have Prodigies, Cold Judgment, Fear and Faith, Godly Power, Fierce Battle, Brutal Beatdown, and Power Bestowed by God. So Prodigies will be another Zamasu, right? I mean, I don't know how you're going to get Prodigies. And well, you're not realistically going to run this Vegeta. But let's have a look. Cold Judgment could be pretty good because it's pretty common on Future Saga. Fear and Faith is pretty good for Extreme Class, Godly Power, yeah. So you should be able to get that with some of the new units. Brutal Beatdown, Power Bestowed by God. I mean, yeah, so why not? Going to work well with Future Saga, Potara, Realm of Gods, Gifted Warriors, Time Travelers, and Inhuman Deeds. Now, interesting. So, like Future Saga, yeah. Potara, possibly, yeah. I mean, if you go into the Super Battle Road stages, I mean, you're having that dodge chance, so that'd be pretty nice. I don't know off the top of my head if there's actually if there is actually a dodge. I mean, if there is actually a super class in there, so that's something. But you do at least get 30% to dodge, even if there isn't, on super attacks. That's actually not too bad. Inhuman Deeds could be an interesting one. Gifted Warriors, no, because, well, you're going to rock it around like Frieza and you're going to rock it around Vegeta, so probably not. Realm of Gods, I mean, it's plausible, but you look at the Realm of Gods category, like he's had an easy A, the others have. Who else is on here? So, I mean, he's pretty solid, he's still pretty good. Yeah, you've got these guys on here who would be a better counterpart. He's going to have his easy A at some point soon, right? So yeah. So with this in mind, maybe not Realm of Gods, but for sure, Future Saga, Potara, and Time Travelers, yes, could be a really nice floater. So let's have a look. So he now does. So who not the most incredible links but as I say, you got stuff like Godly Power and Prodigies and Power Bestowed by God, which kind of hurts him because, for example, this guy. I mean, you've got the Cold Judgment, but this guy's rocking and he's going to have like big bad bosses, and he's going to have Nightmare. So I mean, you're losing out on a little bit of attack. But yeah, obviously, I'm not expecting this guy to have big bad bosses. Recently, Zamasu's just had his EZA, I believe it comes out today, funny enough. We are able to get some pretty decent key links and some attack, which would be really, really nice. But ultimately, you're going to struggle to fit him in because honestly, like you're going to rock these. These are his best people. Yes, these three are going to be these two are going to be pretty great. Not so much these, which is going to be a bit annoying. I mean, we check out the Potara category; it's pretty top end. Obviously, he could work with this Fusion Zamasu. He could help out quite a bit. Goasu and Zamasu could be pretty good. It's going to be the extreme class, right? So, like, most of this you wouldn't. If you're rocking Potara, I mean, you go rock this guy who's like a full 170. I mean, you wouldn't be rocking it next to any of these superclass people, and all the leads, they're totally irrelevant, right? So, I mean, who could you have? Oh, with this guy could be really nice, this STR Rose. I mean, giving that extra buff could be really nice. Of course, he's coming more into play with the new LR, really, right? So he's quite fantastic. So like you could plausibly use him as a floater because like Goasu and Samasu do the same thing. They have like a ridiculous amount of chance to dodge the auto super against the extreme class, and they seal. So they could be a pretty decent floater too on an opposite rotation. So legitimately could make a good play. But honestly, that's probably where this banner unit resides. And in Human Deeds, well, yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, we do have STR Rose, so why not? Anyone else on here who could possibly help him out? Strictly not so much. There is a Black. He's World Tournament, so whoever has his easy A whenever they get round to it, that could be pretty good. But I mean, you have got Rose, but again, he isn't going to link up too well with this. If you think Future Saga on this, off the bat, the Goku Blacks, they're the only time travelers, so you'd have to have him on rotation, otherwise it's a total waste. So I mean, this guy's good, but the categories he's going to be on is going to be really interesting how it works out because he isn't going to link up with most, and you just wouldn't throw him on these teams. So like people who are brand new or kind of building up their accounts and they're like middleish, I mean, Realm of Gods, you probably already have way better people. So, like, honestly, unless you're short, unless, like, in Human Deeds and Gifted Warriors, you're really short on a roster, then sure. You're just going to struggle. I mean, he builds up key, which also hurts him a little bit because if he had key in the start of the turn, you could probably get a super attack way quicker. Because if he's not going to get any links at all, period, I mean, like Inhuman Deeds. So he's on this guy. So does he? So he does get Fear and Faith, which is 2 key. So he starts. So he's on 8. But then you would need the additional 4. It's I mean, you could get a pretty bad field. It's hard to say. He could work, and he's pretty decent. It's just maybe a couple more teams, right? Perhaps if I mean, maybe if this was something better, maybe if there was. I mean, maybe if you just had 50% chance to dodge just flat out, that would be nice. Maybe if you just had the 30% flat out, that would be nice. If this was just evade and attack and all allies get 2 key, that'll be good because again you could actually help them out because again if you're going like Inhuman Deeds, there's no real Future Saga category in this. Makes more sense on Potara, right? Because I mean, yeah, fine, you got like the Vegetos and these guys, and the new units could actually benefit from that. But if it was just all allies after actually having that dodge, that would make more sense. But yeah, so that's how we're going to tie up Zamasu. He seems pretty decent. I'll be looking forward to actually running him, but his teams are a bit and ah. So now we have STR Mai. Pretty good. Okay, so it's another Mai. So this is like the third decent one. We have an AGL, we have an Int, and now we got this girl. I expect the Int one to get the easy A. Why not? It's kind of the thing. But anyway, let's have a look. So Connected Hope and Future Saga, 3 key, 130%. So again, if you're struggling for some category Super Battle Roads or maybe some other events, possibly this could help you out. So what do we have? 2 key, 150%. Okay, so that's great. So you get a decent amount of stats at the start and you have key. So you get a 50% to stats and reduce damage by 20% when performing a super attack. That's nice because like it's not like like against an extreme class. So it's pretty good. So you get 200% and 20% damage reduction basically on super attack. Super attack effect 30% for the turn and seals. So that's actually really nice. Yeah. So that would mean that normals shouldn't be too much of a problem. So you launch an additional attack that has a 30% chance to become a super attack. Okay, fine. You have additional defense only 50% and reduced damage by 30% within the same turn every time you perform a super attack twice in a battle. So once within a turn. Okay. So if you double super, you get an additional 50% defense and additional 30% damage reduction. So you got to double super. So that means you have to do additionals, 100% additionals. This will be interesting. So you double super, you get 50% damage reduction. You're going to get an additional 50%. Actually, if anything, it's an additional 80%. That's pretty broken, but it seems that way. Superclass allies, 30% to stats. You get an additional 20% and a chance performing a crit for those who belong to the Future Saga. So this one is a super class allies Future Saga, sub 50% support. Interesting, which actually makes way more sense. So you change physical to SDR, you change tech to AGL, and superclass 3 key when HP is 50% or less. Interesting. So this is going for her, and this is going for the new units. Interesting. And I mean, it's pretty often you might just fall below 50%. So you get that, and you're going to get the 3 key. Now, interesting. Now, I know that from this mechanic, you could fall below 50%, get your 3 key. You could heal back up, and you'll keep the 3 key because it's at the start of the turn. So yeah, so once it's at the start of the turn, doesn't matter what you do afterwards. So that's pretty good. So let's have a look. So you raise super attack and seal. I mean, you have 20% damage reduction. Double super you get so you have to rely because I mean potentially triple super because this could proc, and then of course your hidden potential system. Now I would suppose if this was a 50% chance at the very least, then that would make more sense because like this is totally irrelevant unless you have that extra super attack. Now you've given us a 30% chance, fine. Maybe it's because she's going to be quite broken. possible. She could be a pretty respectable tank. But at the same time, maybe actually giving us some high chance would give us some decent opportunities to actually proc that. How many people are going to need this unit or not going to get the new units? They get this, but they have this unit, they need it. It's useful. She seems useful, right? I mean, she seals. She's a super class Future Saga support. I mean, it. If you had the ability to be more utilized, that would be great. Because honestly, if I do a video for this girl, you're gonna see that. You're gonna see the difference. Okay, so what do we have? Coming in at 55%, we have only 7,500, but I think that's factoring in mind that they have damage reduction. Coming in at 69%, you get 8.8, so there's a huge jump. So congratulations to those who have one dupe. And if you've gone for the rainbow, you get 10,000, so not far off Zamasu, and then a slightly more attack. But pretty decent defensive overall with the damage reduction, so that's going to look pretty well. So we have Courage, Brainiac, Solid Support, Cold Judgment, Dismal Future, Battlefield Diva, and Fierce Battle. They're nice that they stick this in because it means she can work on Peppy Gals. Dismal Future is pretty good. Brainiacs you can get, especially with Peppy Gals, and Cold Judgment as well. So that's pretty good. Way more teams. We have Future Saga, Earthlings, Peppy Gals, Power of Wishes, Revenge, Time Travelers, Battle of Wits, Connected Hope, Earthbred, and Superheroes. Interesting how she's on Power of Wishes. Right, okay, so, and Time Travelers. Didn't actually expect her to be, I suppose, I mean, she never actually time traveled, did she? Which is pretty, or did she? I think she might have done. But honestly, of course, so we got obviously straight off the bat, Future Saga, Earthlings, and Peppy Gals is pretty good. Revenge could be useful. I mean, she has the damage reduction, she has the seal, she has key at the start of turn. She might not struggle for super attacks, would be nice. Battle of Wits, Connected Hope. Connected Hope could be a good one. It has had a bigger roster, but sure. So when you're talking like Earthbred fighters and superheroes, perhaps not. I mean, they're pretty stacked, so maybe not. But for sure, when it comes to like the top of three here, and maybe Time Travelers by extension of Future Saga, that could be really good. So who do we have? Okay, so we have some pretty decent units. We're talking off the most, the recent LREZA, I'd say recent, also Super STR, and we're going to be getting Cold Judgment, which is really nice. Brainiacs, so what, that's 25. So you're going to be getting 40% of stats, which is pretty good. 40% defense, 15% attack, 2 key, 10% attack, another 2 key, and plenty of attack. So honestly, the extra 45% defense for this unit with a little bit of attack is going to be really, really good. These units as well, again, they have that seal chance, that stun chance, or that active ability to take someone off the battlefield for a while. So, I mean, that's really good. Procking stuff like Solid Support, Cold Judgment, Brainiacs, Dismal Future. You can legitimately get a good team. So that's pretty good. Who else would we have? We have Peppy Gals. Let's see. So we do have Videl. Videl, you're able to get Courage, Cold Judgment, Battlefield Diva. Okay, so like Cold Judgment with Videl's going to be pretty broken. Also with Super STR, that's pretty good. Hearts is interesting. I mean, yeah, sure. He has Guard, procking his Cold Judgment and Brainiacs. He could legitimately be a solid slot 1 unit for Time Travelers. The Extreme Super Battle Road is pretty gnarly because you're up against 5-4-5 or something like that. So having Time Travelers with this, procking the extra 45% defense with his guard could be really, really good. And then there's a bunch of Peppy Gal units in here, right? So pretty good. Super STR, Brainiac, Solid Support, pretty nice. Let's see. This Videl, nothing as special, but I mean, you can get a few links. And then Peppy Gals will work out across the board because you will be able to get a few of these links in. And of course, you have Bulma as well for Peppy Gals. Super STR, been pretty good, right? Brainiac, Solid Support, Battlefield Diva, given that key chance. Yeah. I think overall Super STR, especially the girls and Time Traveler, is going to look pretty good. So overall, much better. it's definitely a better one. So again, we check out Earthlings, and yes, we have stuff like we show you, like you got the other Mize. Oh yeah, so she has a. I knew she would have had an easy A. I called it. So of course, then you got Bulma. Yamcha's actually pretty respectable. Chi-Chi's fairly respectable. Roshi, he's an STR support as well, isn't he? With X amount of orbs. So again, interesting. Maybe like Earthling Super STR for like your monotype, that could legitimately work out. There are some possible chances. But yeah, Super STR and even I think the girls are trending towards STR at this point. There are a few other legitimate options, but yeah, so, and in Future Saga, there are some good ones with like she has her stun chance, the AGL Mai has her stun chance as well, and they had different, they had the lower attacks and have different procs for each one. So again, could be a pretty decent floater. And if you're trying to know item it, the stun chances and the seals that come into play, that could be really good. So she has a fairly solid. She's fairly solid on this, right? So there's no doubt that she has a good place. So that's going to be it for this video. We have two new units. We have Mai and we have Zamasu. So yeah, all good. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'm looking forward to testing them out. Let me know what you think. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you and bye-bye.